A handheld game console with 500 OG games. Let's check it out. Oh, Dave Taylor here, sorry, getting sidetracked there, and I'm checking out this. This is the Fogud retro handheld game console, and it has 500 old video games burned into it, so has a ton of choices. As you can see here, I'm looking at Dr. Mario, and this was a game that I played a lot and really enjoyed on my Nintendo GameBoy. Now, if you had a Game Boy, you might be looking at this design and saying, wow, that looks a lot like a Nintendo Game Boy. It clearly is where they got inspiration from, so that's pretty sweet. As I said, 500 games. It has lots of Mario games. It's just this like wide range of different, I don't know, 1990s era video games, and it's super fun. 3-inch color LCD screen. One of the most important things that it has is a volume control, so you can hear what now sounds like pretty cheesy, plinky music, or by just dialing the volume down, you can actually turn the volume off and enjoy it with a little bit more zen to you, which is good because a lot of these seem to be pretty frantic in terms of how fast they go. The system has, as you can see, a 3-inch color LCD screen. It also has the ability for you to plug it in. This is a 2.5 millimeter jack, and interestingly, there's 1-channel audio and video out. But sadly, I don't have any televisions that have component input, so I wasn't able to test that. Theoretically, you can plug this in to that 2.5 millimeter jack on the top and actually have this displayed on your television. Also on the top is USB-C and a power switch to turn it on and off. On the left side is volume control, and that's pretty much it. Now, in terms of battery, it has a 1020 milliamp hour battery. It is in the back. It's a rechargeable battery, so all you do is plug in the USB-C on the top. It looks like it's an old cell phone battery. That's the kind of battery that you have here, and that gives you 6 to 8 hours of playtime. Again, if you turn down the volume, you're going to get more playtime. And then it also comes with this handheld controller, and it's a little bit tricky to understand how this works. You can't plug it in and use this instead of this. But if you choose a 2-player game, the second player controller is this. This has no batteries. It's powered purely by this device. So, like with Dr. Mario, if I picked 2 players, one player would be controlling this, the other player would be controlling this, but both of them would be looking at this little tiny screen to see what's going on. So, you know, you want to have pretty good eyesight to have this thing work really well for you. And then it also comes with USB-C to USB-A for charging, and it comes with an instruction manual, which is fairly minimal, but how much do you need, right? So let's just have a quick look at the front. You can see there's a 4-way direction key. There are 4 game keys. There is a reset button, and then there are both select and start buttons. So all of that's pretty cool in terms of dimensions. 5.3 inches by 3.2 inches by 6/10 of an inch, and it is 4.4 ounces. If you turn it off, you can have this in your pocket or in your backpack or something, and you will not even remember it's there until you come across it and say, oh yeah, hey, I have 10 minutes, let me try this out. So it is super fun and super retro, and I want to show you a couple of games. So let's jump into this thing. Let's go through the list. So you can see here, there's a lot of games, and here's Dr. Mario that I quite have enjoyed coming back to. And Ninja Turtles, Chip and Dale, Double Dragon. I mean, there are a ton of really classic games here. We can just choose Tetris. So remember, there's start and select, so we're going to just do that. And it is great that it also shows you the year of the copyright. That music's pretty intense. And you can choose 2-player if you want to plug in that controller, but we're just going to do 1 player. And I'll start at level 0. And so if you recall, the goal of this game is to stack things, and then I got to remember how do you rotate them. That's how. So I can rotate pieces, and then I played a lot of Tetris back in the day, and if we do it right, we should be able to tuck it in. There we go. And so this one starts out pretty slow, but let's see what other games there are. So that was Tetris, and as you can see, it's taken us back to number 1. So now we have to go through the list again, but I'll go up, so we'll start at the end. And there are definitely ones here I've never heard of, and I played a fair number of games back in the day. It's also organized by name rather than by like the year of release. There's no way to change it as far as I can tell, but we can try. Let's try Santa Claus. I mean, who doesn't like old Saint Nick? Some of these you just have this sense of dread. It's like, oh no, what's going to happen? So let's see. I'm guessing we're supposed to catch presents, but not catch bad things. Since there's no instructions, whatever that was, we should not have caught that. So we'll try again. So let's see. So that seems to be good. And that is good. So, but I think that, oh no, I guess those are good too. But I'm thinking that's bad. Yes. So that, we should not have caught that. So again, let's go back and see what else we can find. And this is perhaps the greatest tedium here. The thing that's most annoying is that if you have a game that you really like that starts with the letter N or M, then you're going to be scrolling for a while to get to it. So, oh, we had Pac-Man. I didn't notice that Pac-Man was here. Who doesn't like Pac-Man? What an absolutely classic video game. So we'll do one player. Okay, I used to be good at Pac-Man. Let's see. Okay, I'm going after the wrong guy here because I should have gone after other guys, but that's okay. Okay, so suffice to say, lots of fun games here. Let me jump back on camera before you watch half an hour of me playing Pac-Man, not in particularly great. Great. This is an extremely budget device, so if you pick one of these up, and I will say it's super fun and I have enjoyed it quite a bit, more than I expected, but if you pick one of these up, expect it to feel like something that might not last for years, and that's okay, because it is extraordinarily affordable. So affordable that you could be giving these out to all your friends just as a funny, fun gift, or give it to your kids when you're about to go on a plane trip or something and say, give me your phone, give me your phone. You can play with this instead, and you'll get a minute or two of gripe, and then they'll be like, you know, it's kind of fun. This is like what you played when you were a kid, right, Dad? So there is that factor to it, and it is very enjoyable. In terms of the selection of games, there are a lot of games on this. In fact, there are so many games that if you happen to like game number 250, you're kind of in a pickle because you're going to have to go down a screen to get there. So it's fun to see all of the games. I wish there was a better way to select the one you want or mark ones as favorites. So one time you would suffer through looking through 500 games and then pick the 10 or 20 that really were your like absolute favorites that you want to play again and again. But it has, you know, so many fun games and so many classic games from the Game Boy era that it really is delightful fun, and it's really one to check out. Just have your expectations dialed down. This is really about that little screen and the games, and everything else is just sort of a nice ancillary if it works for you, and if it doesn't, not a big deal. So I say you should check it out. Now, We do need to talk price. Before we get there, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Click or tap on subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications, give me a thumbs up because I appreciate the feedback. And I'll tell you, I get a lot of gear. I get a lot of weird gear, and I like to review it all, and I'll show you everything, and I'll tell you the straight scoop on what works and what doesn't. So appreciate your subscription. Excellent. This is the Fogud Retro Handheld Game Console with 500 games. It is $22.99 at Amazon.com. So for 22 bucks, I haven't done the math, but what is that, like 12 cents a game or something? Incredibly inexpensive, super fun, and unlike the original Nintendo Game Boy, you don't have to have cartridges that you keep unplugging and plugging in and then losing and then saying, oh no, I lost Tetris. Actually, Tetris might have been built into the Game Boy. So maybe, oh no, I lost another one of my Mario games. So all of that goes away with this. So it is pretty darn fun. If you played these games when you were young, then it's going to be even more fun. But it also introduces a lot of really classic video games that are the, ancestors upon which the modern games are built. And it can introduce it to your gamer children too, and that's pretty sweet. So that's all I got. I'm getting back to Dr. Mario, so I'll catch you in my next video.